Well, yeah. I mean,
Thanks for that. Sorry.
Is that just like okay for you?
I think that should be fine. Yeah, that's
Okay, let me show the other one.
if anyone. Oh, they're back on. Yeah, no, the circle we want to come in.
Agreeing over dust.
Yeah. My son stated that's me.
Oh, she'll get more than she wants over there. I'll tell you that. It's so sunny. It's being in summer. It's okay. And all the universities back there are on the coast of DC.
Yeah.
It's all on the coast. Great spots. Where she's like,
It's on the yeah, I love it. Yeah, so I appreciate it. And then not just the music. I just say that backwards.
Yeah.
You just
No.
right. I know. I was like, okay. I'll turn on the music.
But then you're gonna go sing. You're gonna have to pretty hot out there. But you're not doing something. Clear. It's quite nice.
I'll just put it behind guys. And just so you know, my number is 917, so you can get a thing from a 917 that prompts me. You're right. Thank you. Sorry. Just have the house right there. Oh, now. Oh, well, that's everything.
Then I'll come back. Slide 9. So she doesn't have to walk outside of the and this is already one. So next to end is yes, right? Yep. I'll just get my
Just keep going. That transition. It's up right now. Yeah.
It's officially 8. Let's get started. Is it good now, Tamsin? Right here? Because I'm short, right?
It's not on. It automatically turns off after a while. There we go.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. And welcome to the 2022 International Conference on Aging in Americas. We are so happy to host you here. After all this pandemic, it's so good to see faces, give you hugs. It makes a huge difference. And welcome to the city of Chicago, this beautiful city in the state of Illinois. Chicago has continually welcomed many immigrants, and its neighborhoods tell stories of hope and resilience that we are going to be discussing during this conference. This year, we also have a hybrid format that allows us to welcome colleagues from many places around the globe. And believe me, we have people all over, including Japan. So it's really like go all around from Latin America to Asian and every other continents included, and to participate with us. At this time, I'd like to introduce you Dr. Jackie Hell, who will introduce you to the conference series. Jackie.
Thank you, Flavia, and welcome everyone. We're so glad that you're here. I'm going to give you a background on our conference series. And if you want to begin by looking at this QR code, you'll be able to access the program. But a little bit more about our conference series on aging in the America and all of the different iterations we've had for the last 20 years. Over this period, we've been guided by the La Marca, the leadership of our team, to investigate important dimensions of healthful aging. We've taken a transdisciplinary approach and done this looking at very important mechanisms that will determine not just at one point in time what the health and well-being outcomes are, but also looking at this over time and the dynamics of it. Roberto Salas was the artist that put that beautiful logo together for that, and it has provided guidance since 2001, when we began our boutique conference, I should say, looking at intergenerational support with Dr. Beth Solos and the MHAS team. and with Doug Wolf. And we have, you can see from all these different areas, we've looked at different aspects of society in which the Latino population and people of Hispanic origin and in Latin America operate in these different contexts. That's very important for us in the work we do in our transdisciplinary approach, both in Mexico as well as in the United States. And you can see here these issues that we have addressed and interrogated together and collectively have been guided by many different institutional contributions, including mostly in the Southwest, but we've had 3 bridging conferences in Mexico, 2 actually in Mexico, 1 at UT Austin, when we've been without funds, and we've had to take a year to put our application together. Mark your calendar now to save the date for our 3rd conference, which will be in Los Angeles on the 14th and 15th of September. We're going to be focusing on the implications of our longevity and life expectancy, both in the US and Mexico, and more to come on that later throughout the conference. We have, throughout these years, these 15 installments, been guided by our amazing advisory group. The co-investigators are Dr. Mikides, raise your hand, and Dr. Vega, raise your hand, Bill Vega, and also Dr. Torres Gill, and this most phenomenal advisory group team. We have also had previous members, which includes our very close friend and scholarly colleague, Steve Wallace. I want to thank all of them. Many of them are here today in person, but also through our hybrid platform. And welcome also our UT Austin students who are logged on as well. We have been very productive throughout the years, throughout the meetings, and we've stayed in touch. We meet monthly, our advisory group, and we also have a very heavy focus on working together, both at the senior level, as well as our emerging scholars and our early career investigators. And we have a publications committee where we alternate both edited peer-reviewed collections as well as peer-reviewed journals. And the most latest project that we have, which will come out of this installment, this iteration, will be funded in our, will be published rather in our Aging in the Americas series. This will be our 6th volume. And you'll be able to take a look at this work in the back of the room. And please reach out and let us know if you have any questions. We want to have everybody involved. This has been an important part of our approach to this, and we've embodied the La Marca to make sure that we can tie all of these important ideas and all of our work together. And just to take just one more moment here to really highly underscore the importance of our mentoring program. NIA has been very supportive of this from the beginning of our collaboration and our institutional partners. And it's extremely important to know how well they have done. And many of them also are here today. If you could raise your hand. For those of you who have been emerging scholar, you've been an early career investigator, and keep your hands raised. And for those of you who have been involved in the mentoring of our students and who are now assistant professors, associate professors, and full professors, yeah, we have our NIA postdoctoral fellowships, our NIA traineeships, they're all over the country and in Mexico. And we're really, really proud of them. And now I want to turn this over to Flavia, now that you have a little bit of background on where we've been. And she's going to be able to describe to you our goals and objectives this year.
Thank you, Jackie. Sorry, I'm moving to applaud Jackie. So I've done so much for this conference and everyone that's in this room. Thank you, everyone. And many of you also online, joining us online. So for this year, our topic is cognitive aging in Mexican and Latino communities in the United States. And our focus is really like trying to further understand the concept of resilience that we started a few years ago. It's part of like this project. So the objectives for this installment, we have these 4 questions that are guiding us, and we hope to actually put in the volume that we are preparing for this springer. So the first one, what's the meaning, theoretical and practical usefulness of the concept of resilience and understand the important aspects of cognitive aging. And in this conference, we're really going to look from the individual to the societal level, really talking about all the implications about the interactions and how they can affect the concept of resilience and how we measure it and apply it. We're going to be talking about interventions and how they can be introduced early in life to increase cognitive reserve. We have a full session actually on interventions at the end, the day tomorrow. How cognitive research can be enhanced throughout the life course in later life, and which cultural and social resources can be mobilized to promote brain health and enhance quality of life. And we're going to devote a whole session also to it. So I'm really looking forward to all these presentations. Of course, it takes a whole village, right, to put an event like this together. And I could not have done it without the support of my wonderful co-organizers. And so I want to thank you. Sylvia, please raise your hand for supporting us during this process. Thank you. Marta Davigus could not join us today. She's actually at NIH, but she asked me to welcome all of you on behalf of the University of Illinois, Chicago, to this area of the city. We also have Fernando Rios-Mena. Fernando, please raise your hand. Thank you also for your continued support to this series. This year we have a very special poster session in honor of Steve Wallace, who passed last year. I'd like to thank Terence Hill for chairing that group. Terence. And Adriana Reyes, thank you so much, Adriana, for the wonderful organization. And Emma Aguilar, who's joining us online. Thank you so much. We're also going to have the early career mentoring that's going to happen at the end of the day today. And we'd like to acknowledge Phil Cantu. Phil, please raise your hand. And Vero, that is Montes de Oca, that's joining us from Mexico. Thanks, Vero. In the consensus building that we're going to have tomorrow, I would like to thank the leadership of Sunshine Roads. Sunshine, please raise your hand. Thank you so much. And Angela Gutierrez. Angela, por favor. Thank you. And of course, I'd like to really thank our NIH R13 external reviewer, Bob Wallace, that has been doing this work for so many years. Thank you, Bob. And of course, there's so many other colleagues assisting us in the organization of this conference. And I really would like to also acknowledge our poster sessions, Emma Aguilar, Terence Rio, David Marquez, and Adriana. We have for consensus building moderators, Lisette, raise your hand. And Mariana, por favor, raise your hand. Julie Bobbitt is going to come tomorrow. Iram, Fernando Rios-Mena, and Mark is going to be joining us tomorrow. For the consensus building rapporteurs, like we have Kylie, Felipe, Emma, Jennifer, and Jose. Thank you so much for helping us. I could not have done this without the assistance of my PhD student, Summer Shi Chen. Summer, thank you so much. She caught all the problems in the preparation of this event, and she was there all the time throughout this last year. She put together this beautiful document that is in front of you that you can also access to with your QR code in the back. Thank you, Summer. And the staff at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign in the School of Social Work, Amy Harles, Crystal Watson, and Lynn Ewan, I could not have done without you. I would also like to thank the hotel here and Omar and all the people that helped welcome us to this place, and everybody working with the catering. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that usually we don't acknowledge. So, like I really want to say that's a lot of people that actually take work. And of course, the people from the Common Ground, they are also here helping us with all the ITs and like with the website. Let me call you attention to the brief highlights that we have. We have like 2 consensus building and 2 keynote sessions and 1 consensus building. We have many invited speakers. We have presentation from the Alzheimer's Association research initiatives at the end of the day today. We have the poster session. And I really welcome to stay with us throughout these 2 days. We will have a special issue in the Journal of Aging Health, as Jackie mentioned, that will come up soon. And at the end of this event, we want to put together a volume. So please come talk to us. We have already a contract in place with Springer. And next year, I'll see you guys, of course, in LA. I want to acknowledge all the funding that we have. To fund everyone, to bring you here, to really engage in this collaborative research. It takes time, but also takes resource. So thanks all the funders that we had here. For this year, I would like to acknowledge the support from the National Institute of Health, the Alzheimer's Association for their generous support, but also funding from the School of Social Work at the University of Illinois Champaign and the Center for Health, Aging, and Disability at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. I could not have done without your support, and also like the consistent support at the University of Texas. But all of these have provided enormous support throughout these years. Thank you everyone for taking time for your busy schedules to be here with us today. I hope you enjoyed this conference. At this time, I would like to introduce Susan Martinez, the Vice Chancellor for Research and Innovation at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, for remarks.
I'm just going to put it back on that first slide so that we have something nice. Okay. Sorry to be. Well, good morning, everybody. What a pleasure it is to be here to welcome you all to this binational venue and with global impact. I want to thank you for joining us today, whether you're here in person or joining us from elsewhere. I know how much the pandemic weighed us down, but it also helped us expand our vistas because we have developed this wonderful hybrid form of meeting where if we can't be here in person, we at least have the opportunity to engage. When Flavia asked me if I could be a part of this event, I was absolutely delighted that I could be here in person to welcome you all. And I'm already very much appreciating the wonderful sense of warmth with this research community. And I'm very impressed by the way you mentor your young and how the young have grown up to pay it forward. So it's really terrific to see that part of your community. If we've learned nothing else over the last few years, it's that when we think about living healthy lives, we know that our human connections matter. So I hope today and tomorrow are a really good day for you to be connected. Champaign-Urbana is just 2 hours down the road, a little bit south. And when I learned about the longstanding collaborations in this 15 plus years of the conference series on aging in the Americas, I knew I had to really arrange my schedule to be here. We are so delighted to welcome those of you who are here again in person. But I also want to thank you for tuning in from around the globe, no matter the time zone. I know Japan, it's probably in the middle of the night, so I appreciate you being here. We are grateful to the conference organizers for their incredible work to bring so many scholars from around the world together. I know you poured hours into this, Flavia, and your organizers have poured hours into this, and it really shows. For those of us gathered here today, as well as you attending online, again, welcome. It's really incredible to be in a city like Chicago, as Flavia said earlier. It has such deep ties with Mexico as well as the rest of Latin America. And I also want to say on behalf of the University of Illinois, we have been building strong relationships with Central and South America. In fact, I have a team member down in Mexico City right now that's preparing a visit for our president as part of the collaboration. And as scholars here, we know that the best work comes when we collaborate together. But I think we can extend that further because you know that our societies flourish when we acknowledge and embrace the unique perspectives that each of us bring to the table, whether it's cultural or different disciplines. It all makes for a much, much better outcome. So addressing the challenges of an aging population that faces us is intrinsically an interdisciplinary pursuit, or I think the outcomes will be far better as we pull these different perspectives together. We can explore any of the research questions that will enhance our understanding of interventions and technologies and how to best utilize the cultural and social resources that support healthy aging without all hands on deck. So that's why it's particularly exciting to be here and see all of you. I obviously am here representing the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. And when I look at the research program, I was really delighted to see the superstar researchers from my campus on the agenda, as well as our sister institution, University of Illinois at Chicago. But then I looked a little further. I'm a biochemist, by the way. So, but I looked a little further and I noticed really the breadth of the presenters who are here. And I'm thrilled to see so many experts from so many disciplines and so many institutions across the nation and Latin America. We have so much to learn from one another, and we're catching up after the pandemic with a little downtime. And these kinds of collaborations are vital to addressing these grand societal challenges like aging. We are very grateful to the NIH, the Alzheimer's Association, the School of Social Work at UIUC, the Center for Healthy Aging and Disabilities at UIUC, and the University of Texas for making these collaborations possible. You know that the best part of our job, this is the best part of our job as researchers, getting together and exchanging, being inspired. Our conversations and our connections mean that we can really change people's lives for better. What you're doing here matters. I think probably the more senior people really know that. The younger people, you're gonna see that as you move through your careers. So thank you again for your dedication and your hard work. I'm not going to be able to stay the whole time, but I'm just really feel privileged to be a part of just getting this conference started. And I look forward to hearing about your discussions and future research directions. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan. Now I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Frank Bandiera, Program Official, the Division of Behavior and Social Research, the National Institute of Aging in the United States. Thank you, Frank.
And you should just be able to use those arrows.
Okay, so just press arrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
to go forward.
Hi, I'm Frank Bandera, and I'm a program officer at NIA. I'm the program officer for this conference, and today I'll be presenting on NIA Behavior and Social Research Funding on Hispanic health and health disparities. So let me say that we're an extramural research program, which means that we're the funder. We provide the funds mostly to academic research institutions. We do have an intramural program, and they're the ones that do the research. We have 4 divisions at NIA. We're one of them. We're the Behavioral and Social Research Division. We have a division of aging biology. We also have a clinical division and a biology division and a division of neuroscience. So we fund social, behavioral, and economic research and research training on the processes of aging at the individual and societal level. we're interested in cross-disciplinary research at multiple levels, from genetics to cross-national research. And of course, we support Alzheimer's disease and related dementia, but we also support general aging research. So we mostly provide grants to research institutions on research projects like R01s. We also fund networks and centers. Networks are formed to form collaborations and networks. And center programs also provide networks, mentoring, and pilot projects. We also fund training and career development awards to diversify the aging workforce. So these are done as an early career awards like K awards and diversity supplements. And we hold the workshops to gather information to inform NIA and what we could act on. So we have center programs, and I mentioned this because they're all related to health disparities. We have the Resource Centers for Minority Aging Research, or the RICMARs, which is to increase health disparities research and diversify the workforce. We have the Centers on Demography of Economics and Aging. So that's on demography, comparing, for example, geographical differences. And we have the Roybal Centers for Translational Research in the Behavior and Social Sciences. And we have an AD and a general one, and that's mostly to fund basic research and basic social science research and interventions. So the one I'd like to focus on is the RICMAR, because that's exclusively focused on health disparities. It aims to increase the number of researchers focusing on minority elder health, to enhance diversity in professional workforce by mentoring minority researchers for careers in minority elder health research, to improve recruitment and retention methods to enlist minority elders in research studies, to create culturally sensitive and more precise measures assessing health status of minority elders, and to increase the effectiveness of interventions designed to improve minority elders' health and well-being. So the one I'd like to focus on that is associated with this conference is the Texas Resource Center on Minority Aging. The PI is here, Dr. Marquides. And here are the aims for this study. The purpose of the Texas RICMAR, and I bolded the important information, is to provide an infrastructure that facilitates the development of research on health and aging in minority population, with a special focus on the Hispanic population in the United States and Mexico. So a special focus is on mentoring researchers from minority populations. And it's a great way to jumpstart your career and receive mentoring if you're junior. The center supports pilot research projects and you receive mentoring. And it's also associated with this conference, the ICAA. And they recruit scholars through conferences such as this one. So if you're interested in becoming a scholar, the PIs here encourage you to talk to him. So we do fund research networks to develop new areas. Again, these are all have an overlapping theme on health disparities. We have the midlife reversibility of biobehavioral risk associated with early life adversity, the reproducibility in the social and behavioral sciences, life course health and disparities at older ages, dementia care and services research, AD/ADRD data harmonization, rural aging, stress measurement, genomics and omics of behavioral and social sciences, and integrating animal models to inform behavioral and social research. So the one I'd like to focus on is the one that's folded here, on life course health and health disparities, and the program officer for that one. And it's focused on health disparities. The PIs for this one are Dr. Montes, Bergard, Humber, and Alshire. And it's called the Network on Life Course Health and Health Dynamics in 21st Century of America. So life expectancy in the US has been decreasing, and this varies by where you live in the United States. And in comparison to other countries, other developed countries, the US is lagging in life expectancy. So here are the aims for this network. The overarching objective is to strengthen the network to generate new evidence and disseminate data and analytic resources to better understand trends and disparities in US adult health and longevity across the life course and geographical context. So I bolded the important parts. This is similar to centers. They have an interdisciplinary network that's emerging underrepresented scientists. And they also provide pilot funding, and they also, through this pilot funding, you can receive mentoring, and they do hold annual meetings or conferences. And I know I've attended, they have information sessions on analytical techniques, and they also have data resources. NI is interested in receiving feedback from the research community, so we hold the workshops and we collaborate with the national academies. So we've had reports on different racial, ethnic disparities, immigrations, international comparisons in Latin America, and structural racism. So they also suggest that we should establish research agenda for behavior and social research on Hispanic and health disparities. Like this conference is focused on, it calls for multidisciplinary data, and it considers the sources and the mechanisms explaining racial ethnic disparities instead of just description. And it focuses on social mobility among different immigrant groups, and it encourages cross-national comparisons such as US and Mexico. So we do fund Hispanic health, and here are some studies that we have funded on Hispanic health. We have the longitudinal study of Mexican American elderly health. The PI is Dr. Marquez. We have the Mexican Health and Aging Studies, or MHealth. The PI is Dr. Wong. We have the health of aging of Mexicans on both sides of the border. The PI is Dr. Rios Mena. And we have the influence of social and cultural context of life course pathways for Alzheimer's disease, related dementia, and care resources for older Mexican adults. And the PI is Dr. Downer. Some of them are here, so if you'd like to collaborate with them, I encourage you to talk to them. So we also have our own data to support Hispanic health and health disparities. We have the Health and Retirement Study, the Midlife in the United States Study, National Health and Aging Trend Study, the National Social Life Health and Aging Project, and the Panel Study of Income Dynamics. We do have funding announcements here. These are some that we have. We have one on immigration, and I'm the contact. We have a notice on health disparities in Alzheimer's. I'm the contact. We have one on policy and Alzheimer's disease. Dr. Fazio is the contact. And we have one on measures and methods for Alzheimer's caregiving, and Dr. Carricker is the contact. So I should mention that you don't have to apply necessarily to one of these RFAs. You could apply to the parent program. So I'm here today and tomorrow. So if you wish to talk about NIH funding, I'm here, and I'd be happy to talk to you about funding. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frank. And now I'd like to introduce